Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. So I hear that you, yes you, are Professor Moneybags. And you don't mind a bit to pay for something like this. Look at that, it's even got a little crystal cap there just to let you know that you ball hard. Good on you. This is Raja Parfum's Amber Aoud Parfum. Now, how much does this little dandy right here run you? Well, at full retail, it's gonna run you $765. That's a pretty good deal. But don't worry, there are discounters out there, right? Discounters, yeah. We all know those, and you can find this at discounters for $420. Yeah, it's still actually pretty expensive. Yeah. But what if there were a clone fragrance out there, an alternative, if you will, an inspired by fragrance that is not at all just directly trying to ape everything that this fragrance does, that you could get for way, way less? Oh, there is. Yeah, they're subtle about it. So this is the fragrance we're gonna be talking about here today, and it is called Divin Aoud, or excuse me, Divin Aoud. I'll have both of these dandies linked down in the description below, so feel free to go down there and check them out if you would like to do so. Of course, clone fragrances just keep coming and coming and coming, and they won't stop. They're unkillable. It's like zombies in Night of the Living Dead. It's a swarm. You just give up eventually, fall into the wave of clones just washing over you. There's a bunch of clones coming out. That's what I mean to say. And frankly, they're getting so much better that it becomes ridiculous. It's reached critical mass where you're just like, dude, what? These clones, how is this possible? That they're this cheap and yet this close? Something's got to give, right? This is some subterfuge, something going on here. Before we talk about this fragrance and go into detail about Divin Aoud versus Amber Aoud, let's go ahead and take a look at the presentation, and there's a good amount to it. So first off, you have an outer box as the name of the fragrance, the size and concentration, Eau de Parfum, 100 ml size. You have the logo on top of this box. On the back, you have the ingredients, you have your barcode, and your sticker of authenticity, very important. It's from Fragrance World, and then on the bottom, you have your batch code. Line expires 04/2028. And here we have the box within the box. And actually it's a really good one considering what most clone fragrances have in terms of presentation. This is a step above. So you have there on the front the same information, the size, the concentration, the name of the fragrance. Have a couple little golden like metallic stickers on there. Logo of the house up top, ingredients on the back once again, and little info on the bottom as well. Box opens up like so. Look at that. Not bad. And your bottle will be sitting right inside like that. And here we have the bottle. So you have a metallic plaque on the front there, and it's got a little bit of a crooked lean to it, but it has the name of the fragrance and the concentration. You have Divin Aoud on the side of the bottle, which is where on the Raja Parfum it would say Raja Parfum. On the bottom you have a little sticker, and then you have basically a duplicate sort of cap with press-on sort of faux gemstones. Yeah, cap does have some heft to it though. It's a little bit heavy. Set these over here. Let's go ahead and blast a couple sprays out of the real deal and also the imposter. Fantastic atomizer as always on the Raja Parfum. And a so-so atomizer on the Divin Aoud. So what is the cost of this guy right here? Well, we already went over the cost of Amber Aoud, both at retail and at discounters as of this video. This one is at Fragrance Buy right now. That's where I got mine. And it's right about $43 US. So you could basically think of this as 10% the cost of the Raja Parfum if you bought the Raja Parfum at a discounter. If you didn't buy the Raja Parfum at a discounter, yeah. Let's see how they are off the tester strips here. So I guess the first question is this the same as this? I will answer that for you conclusively right now. No. All right. Thank you guys. Stay safe out there. I will see you again tomorrow with another fragrance video. It's not that simple, is it, I guess? So off the top, there is a marked difference, and it's very easy to tell which one is which. This is not one of those situations where you spray on a clone here and the real deal here, and you're like, oh, they're really close, but there's a small little difference. Nah, this is pretty different. Also, the colors are pretty different, aren't they? This is much darker than this. So the main difference off the top is that Amber Oud, it goes in with a good amount of florals, kind of a dusty undertone right away. So you get jasmine in there, you get ylang-ylang, you get rose, you get multiple woods kind of working in underneath those florals and that kind of dusty aspect that you have off the top. The oud is not at all funky fecal. It's not even really a strong oud fragrance. It has sort of a sparkle to it. All of that's going on over here with the Rose Parfum. With Divin Aoud, you don't really get that dustiness. It's actually much more fruity and kind of sweet off the top. And you don't really get the rose, you get more of like a candied ylang-ylang coming out of this one. So quite different in how they come across off the top. This is more fruity sweet with woody undertones, not as powdery, not as much of the florals coming through than the real deal. So very easy to tell apart in the opening. Does the Rose Parfum smell more expensive in the opening? Yes, it does. You would expect that. It has much more depth to it. It just feels like a sound wave. You know, like you look at a piece of audio, something that's just been compressed, and you have like a lot of coverage across the entire sound wave, right? Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Like you get that with the Rose Parfum, whereas with this one over here, it feels a little lighter. Like there are more places where you could plug something in to kind of fill in some missing sound. But it still smells very pleasant. It just doesn't smell the same as the Amber Oud. If you said Amber Oud with a twist, with a fruity twist, I would say, sure, we can go with that. But here's where it gets interesting. As it dries down, they start to get closer, more similar. And once you hit the full dry down, which means that these have been on your skin for a while at that point, you know, an hour plus. At that point, they actually get very, very close. As some of the florals kind of start to step back a little bit from Amber Oud and the woods come out a bit more, this has the woods coming up more, and that little touch of florals that it does have, they linger into the dry down. So what ends up happening is both of these start to come together. They start to get much closer. In the opening, I don't think anybody who is familiar with this is going to confuse this with this. If you're not familiar at all with how Amber Oud smells, then you won't know one way or the other. But if you are familiar, like I said, in the opening, I think it's really easy. You could be blindfolded, spray one on here and one on there and mix them up, and you'll right away be like, okay, this is this and this is that. Yeah, like I'll do that right now. So this is Divin Aoud. Let's mix these all up. Okay. Yeah, Divin Aoud, Amber Oud, easy. But when they dry down, they get close enough that in the air, it starts to be a proposition where, yeah, this could be an alternative to this. In the far dry down, can you tell that the Rose Parfum is still the more expensive fragrance? You can, but it's not at all as obvious as it is off the top. So this is one of those situations with the fragrance where as this dries, the longer it's on your skin, the closer and closer and closer it gets to the Rose Parfum, to the point that I think even if you were a big fragrance person and you like this fragrance a lot, if somebody was wearing this and you weren't aware of what it was, like you didn't know beforehand that they were wearing a clone, you would smell that and be like, oh, I'm wearing some Rose Parfum. It's one of those deals where it gets awfully close. Awfully close. So this is one of those situations where you have a fragrance that basically nails one part of the life of the fragrance, the dry down, but then the other part, the opening and the first part of the mid, it doesn't get super close. So it's up to you whether or not that would work for you or not. If you want something that's gonna give you the dry down and part of the mid of Amber Oud for way less, 10% the cost from discounters and even less if you buy it at retail, this will get the job done. The presentation looks pretty nice, other than the plaque is a little bit, you know, cheap looking. But again, it is a clone fragrance, and I think at this point I'm starting to grade their presentations on a curve. And some of them, like I said, are not pretty looking. In terms of performance, it's not quite as good as Amber Aoud, and Amber Aoud for a lot of people doesn't pack enough of a punch for them because it is very pricey. It's a parfum. You look at that color, it is dark, 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 dark. So you would think this is gonna be just an unholy beast of a fragrance, you know, something that 1 or 2 sprays and you're good to go for 24 hours. It's not that strong. It's not that it's weak. It isn't. It's just for the price point, some people would like that to have a little more punch to it. This one, it's in the opening quite similar as far as performance goes. As it dries down, it's a little bit weaker than the Raja Parfum for me, but I guess that would be expected. This is a parfum, this is an eau de parfum, this is over 10 times the cost of this, blah, blah, blah. But if we just remove this and just talk about the performance here by itself, it's good. It has a nice projection, it has very solid longevity, so nothing to complain about. It's gonna be more of a fall and winter time fragrance, more of an evening fragrance for most people. And I will sort of just throw this out there. I know there are gonna be some people who actually prefer the opening of this because it, you know, removes some of those florals, takes away some of that powder, and then replaces it with kind of a fruity, syrupy sort of sweetness in the opening. You know, it replaces stuff from the Raja with that. And some people are gonna prefer that and just think it's easier wearing. So you could keep that in mind as well, that potentially the opening is more appealing to you if you're more into that type of scent, and then as it dries down, you basically have a Raja Parfum on a budget. Overall though, a really solid offering because it's not easy to try, I would imagine anyway, to clone a fragrance that's as pricey as this is with the ingredient quality that we're talking about here, to clone that and try to put that out at 10% or less the cost and still have it be, you know, even close. And they've done a really good job with that, really solid. I actually have been wearing both of these today. I've got the Fragrance World over here, the Raja Parfum over here. And in the dry down, they are stupid close, stupid close. Main difference is just a little less rose in here, but outside that, it's goofy. All right guys, that'll do it for me. Thank you for hanging with me here today. Stay safe out there, and I will see you guys again tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.